So welcome, Klaus.
Thank you.
Welcome to making the time for us. Klaus is a Danish architect and freediver. He beats his own record, beat it, or how you say it, three times.
Yeah.
So 2 times he beat it himself, and he has had a national record on his name. In meanwhile, it's beat it again by somebody else.
Yeah.
But the deepest, to give you some figures, the deepest competition dive was 72 meters in Freemergen. And your national record you had, that was with a 69-meter dive in constant weight beef fins, right?
Exactly. Yeah.
Yes. I'm going to give you some PBs, so you have an idea who we have in front of us. PBs are very impressive for Klaus, 5 minutes 30 in static. 55 meters constant weight no fins, 76 meters constant weight B fins, and also 76 meters in Freemergen. Am I right if I say that your focus now is being more being instructor and coach?
At the moment, yes, it is. Yeah.
Okay.
It is. Yeah. It is. Yeah. I don't have any plans for any competition this year. Maybe. We'll see later on.
For 26.
Yeah, maybe. I just had a break actually. I just had a break for 2 months where I didn't teach much or didn't train much. So I think it's healthy for the mind to sometimes take those breaks.
Yes, definitely. Yeah. I choose you for the interview because I think you are a beautiful example of somebody who, to make it possible, because you started freediving 10 years ago.
Yeah,
in
probably.
2019, you became an SSI instructor.
That's true.
Then you became Molchanov instructor, IDA instructor, and then you decided to do the competition, be a competition athlete. I also saw you also growing, in body, because you were like more slim before, and with the competition you started training next to it. So I will have a few questions for you so the group can understand and can see with some dedication like you have, anything is possible.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
So, general introduction. How did you get into the freediving?
Well, way back actually. I came from spearfishing. So I was hunting, like a deer hunting on the land, and I was scuba diving. Found out there was something called spearfishing. And I had to try it. So I tried it and I got totally hooked on spearfishing and was doing that for quite some time in Denmark, Norway, and the Mediterranean. And I was competing also in spearfishing actually. You can do competitions in spearfishing also actually.
How is this working competition?
It's normally it's about catching the biggest fish and in different species. So it has to be a certain you get a certain amount of points for each species. It's about weight and length. Yeah. So that's how it works.
Nice.
We have a great tradition for spearfishing in the Nordic countries, in Norway and Denmark and Finland actually. Finland, yeah.
So you actually started as a hunter.
Yeah,
underwater hunter.
Yeah, and then in my late 20s I was doing a lot of mindfulness courses also, a lot of body work. So that came like a natural transition into freediving. I got more and more hooked on what's going on inside instead of what's going on outside. So I turned more and more into freediving and became an instructor pretty fast. Yeah,
nice.
Yeah.
And what does it mean for you freediving personally? Like now that you can say I'm a freediver, what does that mean for you personally?
For me it's about personal development. It's meditation. Freediving is very, very special because in freediving, maybe we can go deeper into the competition part.
So.
But for me, it's to be a competitive freediver. You have to learn to let go, and that's quite interesting. You cannot control anything.
Yeah.
You have to learn to let go.
Yeah.
It's a little bit like faith, like believing in a higher power or something. You have to let go on any control. So this is very interesting.
It's very interesting you say this, because this morning I said to one of us also, like, Just let go more and you will,
Yeah.
it's really much.
Yeah.
What is your most beautiful memory under the water?
I think it was maybe once in the Philippines where we were in a sailboat, a liverboard out there, and we had like a big mother whale shark, like 10 meters long, and the calf next to it, swimming around the boat for an hour and a half, snorkeling, diving
That's
up and down,
amazing.
and that was beautiful. Yeah.
That's
Beautiful,
amazing.
yeah.
We would
Yeah.
like to experience that too.
Yeah,
About
yeah.
your training and your preparation,
Mhm.
how does a typical training week looks like for you? So we're not
Well-
talking about the teaching, but as a competition diver,
Yeah.
a typical
Well, it depends on. There's always a periodization. Like maybe the 2 first months or 3 first months you do some specific training, and then the next 2 months you do something specific, and then leading up to the competition, maybe the last 2 months or even the last 4 weeks you do something specific there.
So I hear like a 6 months preparation for a competition.
Yeah.
So and
That's
what are
when it
the
starts.
different blocks where you focus?
Yeah, for me, the first period in the winter is normally like strength training, building up strength, gaining some kilos because you're going to lose a lot of kilos during the season. Gaining some weight, building up strength, especially the legs. The legs need to be strong.
So you mean gym work?
Yeah, gym work and running also. I do running also. Yeah, and then you can do a lot of different stuff dry also while you are teaching also, like dry equalization training or mental training.
The balloon you mean with the dry equalization training?
Yeah, I have quite some tools. I brought them. Maybe I can show them later.
Okay,
Yeah.
cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, cool.
Yeah, yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
That's nice to share. I also had that you do mental preparation,
Yeah, for sure.
like visualization or something
Yeah.
else.
Well, right now I do quite a lot of mental training. But yeah, definitely visualization is very, very important.
Can you explain? Can you explain?
Yeah, I can, for sure. Maybe I can give you a little tip to a little exercise you can
Yeah.
try yourself. Yeah. This is about when we have a training period before a competition. We need to have the focus in the process. It's all about the process. We can't focus on the goal. We can't do it out in the water either. Then we lose the present moment. So what we can do to help our body and mind to rehearse our dive is to do like a visualization. What I normally do is I write down the dive into steps from the surface, what happens, not too spacey. Like some like to do it like I'm one with the universe and stuff like this. Not too detailed, but just
Like a scenario.
the fin kicking, when do I start, my equalization technique, free fall, stuff like this.
Yes.
Turn, describing that, and the ascent. Maybe there are different levels of kicking with the fins on the way back to the surface, and the recovery phase also. And then what I do is I speak it in on like a memo, so I can listen to it. And then I can listen to it every night before I sleep. So I'm actually training that dive.
You listen to yourself.
Yeah. Yeah. You can do it. Try to write it down and then record it. It's
I will
easier.
give them tonight a presentation about visualization, and they will understand more. Then it's a
Cool,
visualization, especially for sports. So
Cool. Yeah.
in the freediving. Then.
Yeah.
So we will
Yeah.
have
It's a very underrated mental tool. Yeah.
Okay. When you have nerves, I'm sure when you do some competition, you are there for the dive.
Mm-hmm.
Does sometimes nerves get into you, and how do you deal with it?
Well, of course there are different levels of nerves during a competition. You can't really compare competition to training. Competition is totally different. There's always a lot of different nerves. That's also why you see often that people dive deeper in the training than they do in the competition. Maybe they dive 10 meters shallower in the competition normally. because we have these nerves, and that's something we need to deal with. So doing a competition is something that needs to be practiced. I often hear a lot of free divers around saying, I want to dive to 80 or 90 meters before I will do my first competition. But then what? Then you're going to mess up a lot of things, and you need to learn this environment. So it's something that needs to be practiced.
So start earlier.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. Back to the question. What I do, well, I have everything planned, like times. I normally write the times, when do I need to check in and stuff like this, and it's planned what I do in the morning. Also, it depends on where the competition is. If it's in Charm, then the dives are normally later in the afternoon, so then it's a different preparation. That can be quite difficult, actually.
Yes.
And then you have to wait the whole day before you dive.
Yes.
And build up a lot of nerves during the day. But I have to rely on the training period. I have to rely on that my body knows what to do. I don't have to think about my free fall position in the competition, or I don't have to think about the depth or anything like that. That's something that needs to be on autopilot.
So your training time that you do before competition
Yeah.
is creating habits in
Yes.
thoughts, in way to split the dive in details. So on the day of the competition, you like trusting yourself that you will do it automatically.
Yeah, you have to. You have to, because
And then just let go.
yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Something like that.
Yes, and there are different, but maybe we'll come deeper into that in a bit. Yeah.
So what do you do if the dive doesn't go like you are planned?
Then turn and go back to the surface.
You turn. And what does it do with you mentally?
There's always something we can learn from a dive. We have to look at the positives and learn from it. Yeah. What can I take with me?
It.
Yeah, it's like any training. We can't have good trainings always. There's always a bad day, but there's always something good to take from that training to the next training.
Yeah, absolutely. I agree. That's good. But I know that some people blame like tennis players, they break their racket. It's not a good racket.
No, I'm quite structured with my training, so I take the notes after every training, and I even do charts of my dives also, Excel charts. But that's more specific.
If you make your chart, what do you note?
I focus a lot on equalization training, because there are different levels to equalization training. But I take the charts, the numbers of when, for example, I do a mouthfeel charts or something like that. And
okay.
So I can have some statistics.
Yes, so you can see at the end where is it going easier, better, and then you can trust that process.
Yeah, but with different exercises also.
Yeah. In the dry training.
I
got it.
Yeah.
Okay, and then so you have a long and deep dive in front of you.
Mm-hmm.
You sometimes get away with your thoughts and bring back your focus, or you always completely focused 100%?
I think for me that extra tension just makes you more focused before a competition dive, if it's a competition dive. And then I have a little mantra I tell myself over and over again before the dive. I say to myself, your body already knows how to do this. You have done this 1,000 times before. Then I just repeat that sentence like maybe 5 times before the dive.
Yeah.
Sometimes we have maybe 3 up to 4 minutes waiting on the line. So then that's what I start with.
Okay. Yeah. So the process to these depths, where were your doors? I call it the doors. So like a certain depth, you keep it's hard to cross that door.
Oh,
so
okay.
I call it the doors.
Yeah.
Can you tell us where your doors are? And if you stuck.
Well, that's way back. That's way back actually when I became an instructor.
Well, we are there.
Yeah, but that's
so it's interesting.
That's fun to think about actually, because
I know it was not on the list.
No. I was when I became an instructor, I was doing Frenzel fine down to maximum 45 meters, and then I was stuck there for a couple of years at 45 meters.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, but it was more about I wasn't training enough. I wasn't
depth.
training. Yeah.
Yes,
Yeah.
because they train all a lot, but
Yeah.
mostly pool,
Yeah.
and occasionally they go for depth, so it's also a long process. But your door,
Yeah.
your first door was actually on the 45.
Yeah,
for
it
years,
was.
so,
Yeah.
Wow.
It was. Yeah. Yeah. I haven't really been stuck at any depths other than that depth.
Well, so once you crossed the 45, there were no doors anymore?
No, no, there haven't
Wow.
been. There haven't been. I just haven't, had long enough training periods to explore what's next.
True.
Yeah,
True. True.
yeah.
So did somebody particular helped you with that door, passing the 45, or was it self-coaching, self-training with buddies?
And no, well, moving to Dahab helped a lot.
Yes,
yeah,
of course.
for sure. And
So training.
yeah, getting some professional coaching. That's yeah. If we want to learn to dive deeper, then that's
Exactly.
of course very important. Yeah.
And how important is nutrition and sleep for you?
Oh, that's so important. That's the basics.
Yeah.
Yeah, we can't really optimize on anything else if that isn't in place. So sleep, of course, nutrition. Yeah, it needs to be in place. Otherwise, anything else doesn't matter. It doesn't. So yeah.
So how many sleep do you take? Try to take?
I really try to get minimum 7 hours
Oh yeah.
to 8 hours. Yeah.
That's like very reasonable.
Yeah.
And do you eat before the dive? Yes or no?
It depends.
Which?
Depends. Yeah, it depends what time the dive is. If I'm training on my own out in the blue hole, I don't eat before, but get pretty quickly in the water out there. Yeah.
If you teach, do you eat then?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I eat quite a big portion of oats before teaching.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Because there's always a discussion, but I also believe that in some disciplines you better eat something a few hours before to have the strength.
Yeah. If it was a competition dive, I would always eat before a dive.
Yes, that's what I think. So,
Yeah.
Otherwise you're not strength enough. And what do you eat then to recover after an intensive dive session?
Well,
You eat what you want, or you go for some specific
vegetables.
food group?
Yeah, vegetables. A lot of vegetables. Maybe chicken. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
No fish, because they say fish is very good.
Yeah, that can be good also. Yeah, can be good. Just eat a big portion and drink a lot of water.
Yeah, that's definitely good.
Yeah.
Do you take supplements also?
Yeah, I take a lot of supplements. I do. Yeah.
Can you give us an insight on that?
Yeah, spirulina can be very good, especially for women. A lot of women have low on iron in periods when they're training. So iron supplement can be very good, and you can get that from the spirulina. And a lot of other vitamins in the spirulina, which is very good. Protein. Extra protein, especially here, it's a bit difficult to get everything, and I feel a big difference also actually in the training. What else? There's so many different things you can use. Creatine is very important. Creatine. Creatine. I take something called beta-alanine also. Beta-alanine for. Beta-alanine also for recovery. L-theanine can also help with relaxation.
Yes.
There are a lot of different stuff you can use if you want to. Yeah, there's a big discussion on these
you need
supplements.
To get to learn your own body and try to find matches and fill up.
And also some products that are tested. It's a difficult subject. We can talk about that for a long time.
That's true.
Yeah.
So I know you were at the time injured with your back.
Yeah.
That was a long time actually for recovering, right?
Yeah, it took a year.
So did you keep training, dry training, mentally training, or breath work? Did you keep doing that? Or?
It was in the beginning of the training period. I had a disc herniation in the gym, squatting. And I was having Federico Manna as a coach at that time. He's an Italian coach who's been in the freediving world for many, many years. Probably the #1 expert in equalization. He was my coach at that time, and then this happened, and we kept on with the training period. But it was like there was something missing, like mentally also, and strength-wise also, because I had to find other ways to train strength.
So first you were probably mental a bit like, oh no, and then you started rebuilding your confidence, or is this what you mean?
Yeah, but the confidence had to come from a long rehabilitation training.
Yeah.
So it took a year to build up the strength again.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that
and
was
be pain-free.
suffering,
Yeah,
for sure.
Yeah.
Did you have like a dive in your memory that you say that was such a tough dive? I really had to overcome that one. Can you tell something about that?
If I had a tough dive,
Yeah, one that is like memorable for you, like that was such a hard dive. It can be a target dive or a competition dive or training dive.
no, I don't think so.
That's good. So
Yeah.
you forgot when it was like not going so well, or you always had
Yeah.
good dives.
Yeah. Well, I've always been struggling with the equalization. I never have been hypoxic or anything like that.
So you never had a blackout?
No, never.
Fantastic.
Never. Yeah.
LMC?
I remember actually one thing. Yeah. When I just started diving to 50 meters. This is quite interesting actually, because I was doing free immersion at the moment, and still I was getting lactic acid in the legs. I was not using my legs, but I was getting lactic acid in the legs, and this has something to do with the physical adaptations happening in the body, especially with the blood shift.
Yeah.
And then I started doing quite a lot of gym training, and of course started thinking more about what you eat before a dive, and using more magnesium also.
Yes.
And then it went away, and never had lactic acid in the legs ever since. So
Yes, but that's normal. With the blood shift, all the focus goes in the core, and then you can have heavy legs even without using them. So.
Yeah. It's weird. At that time, I didn't understand it, but I do now.
Now you know more.
Yeah.
And what's for you the difference between a deep dive and a good dive? So.
Deep dive and
is a good dive per definition one of your deep dives, like I have a PB, that was a good dive, or can it be like
No, a good dive doesn't have to be a deep dive. No, a good dive can also be an equalization drill, an equalization exercise where I didn't feel I was equalizing, it was just there, just like flow with equalization, or like effortlessness or flow, or
like you started in the beginning, when you did let go everything, don't think about anything, and it all goes automatically. That is that's a dream dive.
The best dives are the dives where you you hit the stopper and the bottom plate by surprise.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, that's true. Did you have ever experienced a risky situation and that you had to deal with it? It can be with your students or with a buddy in training or by yourself?
Yeah, there's been a couple,
Oh.
There's been a couple, One out here in the lighthouse, actually, at one point, there was a lot of current, and they just switched the spot for the 30-meter buoy. So they just changed it to a place where the bottom depth changes quite a lot within a few meters. And then I was working at Dahab Freedivers at that time, and I had a friend from Galapagos. He was Ecuador. He was out training with me on the buoy at that time, and the bottom changed so much, so we were drifting around, and then he actually hit the bottom, the sand, in the free fall.
Oh.
So that wasn't too good. he actually had some pain in quite a while after.
Could you see it? Were you already there as a safety or not? I mean, if he was down and hit it, and were you already going down as a buddy?
Yeah, but the visibility was very bad.
So you only knew it when he was
Yeah,
up?
I knew it when he came up.
Luckily for him.
Yeah.
Otherwise you had to do rope rescue.
Yeah. Luckily there was no corals or anything. Yeah. I tried it myself also at the 50-meter buoy out here, hitting the.
You also had it on the 50 meters?
Yeah.
Wow,
Yeah.
that's also a dream for us.
yeah, that's a good one.
Yeah.
So we have to be careful and be on the safe side. Maybe it's better to make sure there are 2 meters under the buoy.
Yes, under the stopper and the bottom weight, it would be good to have 2 meters.
Yeah, minimum 2 meters.
Left.
Yeah.
Okay. So I already asked this one. And how does freediving influence your daily life? For you, it's your life.
Yeah.
So how do you match this in? Like, you live here, you need to have income, you want to train, you want to combine. You are married, so you need to combine all this stuff. How does it work for you? Is this going smooth, stressful?
Well, it's always in periods stressful being an instructor.
Okay.
Because it's tough to, if you want to do competitions, it's tough to make it work because competitions are expensive. So that's.
Can you explain that also?
Even the best freedivers in the world, we all have this dilemma about gaining enough income to actually pay for competitions. So that's why we have to struggle. So that's stressful, of course, for most people.
Can you give them an insight? Because I also say, but competition is expensive. You have to pay to participate, but there's a lot more, like hotel, moving to the.
Oh wow!
What's make it so expensive to do competition?
Yeah, I made a budget for the IDA World Championships last year. I didn't participate, but it ended up being between probably around 5,500 euros. For like flights, accommodation, for coaching, for competition fees, training period before the competition. So it is expensive. Yeah.
Because it's smart if you go to a new place that you never did dive, that you go a few weeks before and to train in there.
Especially if you're training here in Dahab where we have so good conditions. We don't have any thermocline like we always have in the Mediterranean. So if you're not used to the thermocline and you hit the thermocline, most people, they get surprised. And then they lose the air they have for equalization and then they have to turn. So most people, if they are used to diving here, then if it's Cyprus or whatever, Kalamata, then they go there for a period before to acclimatize, to get used to the thermocline and change in temperature in the water. So you don't tense up like when it starts to get cold down there.
And also, for example, if you go to Kalamata or to Kaz in Turkey, I also knew, because I know you and Sarah, that it was also expensive at the hotels because it's quickly full booked. The prices are higher, it's harder to find. So that adds up also.
It does,
And some competition divers, their stuff doesn't arrive with the flight. Gary had that.
Yeah, that's true.
So he had to use their stuff from other people or find money to buy.
True.
That's also adding up. What message would you like to give to everybody? For the freediving, you are interested to do competition. You want to go deeper. You want to go deeper. You want to be more comfortable and relaxed. You also want to be more comfortable and relaxed. We all have like their. Erik is also an instructor, so we want to be good instructor, but also train for ourselves. If you can give us like an advice.
Oh, there's a lot actually.
You are a combination of all of us.
It's a lot of learning actually. Yeah. Well, it's all about the process first. We have to, even though we want to compete, we have to have the focus in the process. It's all about the process. And
what do you mean?
the process is the training. The training, So if I have some kind of wish in my back mind that I want to go to 50 meter for my first competition or something like that, I can't focus on that. I have to leave it and then focus on the competition, the training. Don't focus on depth, focus on flow, relaxation. Focus on the good dives. That's the most important. If we have the right training and we focus on the right things we need to focus on focus on the relaxation, the depth becomes a consequence of that training.
Yeah.
If we focus in the surface, on the bottom plate, we will probably never reach the bottom plate because we're out in the future. We have to try to stay as much in the present as we can. Yeah, and that's another thing, but I focus quite a lot on equalization training also, and there's a little bit of misunderstanding about what equalization training actually is, because when we focus on equalization training, then we focus 100% on what is going on right now, and then the rest of the body follows. So it is also training relaxation by focusing on what is going on with equalization. So yeah, that's
so
the most
finding the flow in training will help you more.
Focus on having good, as many good dives as possible, and try not to focus on those numbers on the watch for
Keep
Instagram.
Oh no, I don't think we have people here who are diving for their
No,
Instagram.
that's good. That's good.
Very good.
That's good.
You see this a lot now, huh?
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
And how do you see yourself in 5 years?
In 5 years?
5 years in the sport.
Oh,
How do you like to see yourself?
Well, it's a personal development. I'm just competing against myself when I'm doing a competition. So, but I would like to reach 100 meters at some point. Yeah, at some point. Maybe not next year. Maybe not the year after. Maybe the year after. I don't know.
So you have 5 years. I give
we'll
you
see.
5 years.
Yeah.
You want to go for another national record again?
Yeah, hopefully. But yeah, that's not so important. But it's fun to have.
But it's nice.
Yeah. Then you can write it on Instagram.
Yes.
Yeah.
If you could dive anywhere, like where would you like to dive?
Anywhere.
Yeah, when you can choose.
Probably at Aqua Marina in Blue Hole.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, that's a Aquamarine?
Blue Hole, yeah.
Blue Hole, Dali.
Yeah, probably.
That's sweet. So you are you living your dream, right?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
Nice.
I think so, yeah.
Thank you, Klaus. I'm just going to go around in the group if somebody want to have an additional question for you. Maybe they are curious about something specific.
Yeah.
Please. Shall we go? Yeah. Yes, you have one, Philippe. What did you say?
Klaus, you are a champion. What makes you a champion? What is it that for you, what skills or talents or competences are making you really a champion? What is it?
Consistency and patience.
Okay.
Yeah.
Why?
Patience.
Why
And
those
consistency. Because you need, freediving is a sport where you need to do so many repetitions. You need to repeat to become good at it. We were just talking about this today actually. I have Lars this week and we were doing some exercises, and then we were talking about, I gave him like maybe 3 equalization exercises in one session. And if it was me, I would probably do one of the same exercises maybe for 3 weeks or 4 weeks. So maybe 12 sessions, just doing one exercise, the same exercise. Repeat. Until it becomes something your body remembers.
Yeah. That's something, of course, we have the luxury to be here, to always have access.
Yeah.
For people who come for 1 week training, they want to take as much as possible with them and then try to find their way with it. But yeah, if you can have the luxury of repeating.
It's challenging if you only have a few weeks. You can dive deeper, then you might have to focus on something else, than becoming a very deep competition freediver. But
Did you feel like you had to make a lot of sacrifices to
I will.
be where you are right now? You left your country, your home country.
Yeah.
You left maybe your family, friends.
Yeah.
Did it feel like
You
struggle?
sacrificed. Did
Yeah.
you sacrifice a lot in Denmark?
I
to
just
come
came
here?
back from Denmark actually. It's always tough to say goodbye. That's difficult because your parents are getting older, you know, and yeah, it's tough, yeah, to say goodbye because you don't know. Maybe I'll be away for 6 months or maybe a year before I see them again, you know. So that's the main thing, I think. That's the most challenging thing. Yeah.
But it's totally worth it.
For sure. Yeah, for sure. Yeah. Yeah.
What percentage of your training is dry training versus real water, the deep training, dive training?
Here and I have the most training. Depends on. Gym training also counts as dry training. So, but the equalization training probably like 20 minutes, half an hour every day. And then the gym training, it's periodized. So in the dry period, in the winter time, it's probably not as much in the water. Maybe just 3 times a week. And then if you're teaching, you're probably in the water almost every day anyway.
Yeah, but then you're not training really.
Yeah, it's not training, no. Teaching is not training. That's right. It's a balance. Probably the periodization, the first 3 months, you spend a lot of time on dry. Like, you can do a lot of different stuff on dry, but then in the different phase, then it's more in the water, much more in the water.
So how many hours a day do you spend on free diving, you think? Maybe that's the question.
Yeah.
Like in a day base, every day, how many hours a day are you busy with free diving? It can be with meditation, with relaxation yoga, or dry training equalization. So you spend like 3 hours a day every day, or 5 times a week, 4 times a week?
Oh.
Can you give like an idea, an insight?
Yeah. Well, I like to do my trainings in the morning, so I wake up early, and then I do some mental training. I do dry equalization in the morning also. Do gym training also in the morning, before 9, and then probably teach from 9. Yeah, and then if it's a good day, maybe a run in the afternoon.
So that's already quite a few hours.
Maybe a meditation in the middle of the day, and maybe in the evening also.
So that sounds like a day
yeah, it
job.
is. Yeah, it is. Yeah.
That's dedication.
Yeah.
That's we need to have dedication and time.
Yeah. So sometimes I wonder. There are some people who just adapt super quickly. They come here for 1 week and adapt, like, even though it was maybe 7 months since they had their last dive, and that's still impressive because when we are living here, you know, everything takes a lot longer time. If I had a break for 2 months or 3 months and have to get back into it, it takes a longer time.
Yeah. But yeah, you're speaking about different depths also.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah,
like I feel the stamina for me is no problem because this is what in teaching and coaching, it's all the time what you do. Whoop, 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 whoop. That's never a problem. That doesn't go away. It's for yourself training for depth that needs another adaptation again.
Yeah. When I was training full time at the center, like I was teaching too much, but I was teaching like 6 days a week. Then I was probably in the water like three times a day because I was training at the same time also. Then your adaptation is really good because you are going up and down all the time. You have a really good CO2 tolerance in general. So then it's no problem. Then you can train maybe 3 weeks and you're ready to do a competition.
Is this a satisfying answer?
Yes.
The hair question.
Yeah.
This one. It's covered what you wanted to know. Maybe Lars has a question.
Yeah.
Maybe you're more curious about something now.
I just liked very much the fact that you said
when I go down and I think to the stopper, then indeed you are thinking to the future, in fact. And you have to be really in the moment, and that is the glue of the story, at least for me.
Yeah, we all should.
Yeah, the goal shouldn't be the number, the goal should be the flow. The flow and the dive. That's that amazing feeling. That's why we all freedive.
Yes.
It's in the end, it's not because of the number. It's because of the feeling we get inside.
The flow.
Yeah.
That's a nice one.
Yeah.
Thank you, Klaus. Thank
You're welcome.
you so much.
You're welcome.
Thank you so
Welcome.
much. Thank you so much, Klaus. Do you want to add something extra, or yeah? Oh,
Klaus, you brought some stuff to show us.
Yeah, I can show you some of the tools we use for equalization training. I can show you different stuff. Oop.
The equalization tool.
Yeah, just so they can see, if they see it around, people doing funny stuff around the dive.
Yeah.
It's totally normal to blow balloons here.
That we used to see exactly.
This one, if you sit with this one, you get an extra look because it looks a little bit like a cracked pipe, you know?
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
Looks like it is.
That's the trick.
Sorry, Klaus, it is.
Yeah, it is. So this is just, you can screw here, so there's a little bit of ventilation, like you lose some air. It's to, and then you can do different exercises with this. Yeah. For example, if I do practice the advanced mouthfeel equalization technique like this, then I can lose some air here. Do different exercises with that.
So,
Yeah.
so you're closing it.
Closing and opening.
Yeah, just a
also
little bit of air
regulates
comes
the
out.
rate
Yeah,
flow, all that.
yeah.
So
Yeah, it regulates the air
so you can simulate the loss of air, like you using your mouth fill.
The compression, yeah,
yes,
of air.
Yes.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then we have these ones. If you have seen these ones before, you have probably
Yeah. We
played
had
with
it
it.
yesterday.
Yeah,
training
yeah.
with
You
the
can do a
balloon.
lot of exercises with this and without this one also.
Yes.
And what else do we have? We have the
Which exercise would you recommend for beginners?
for beginners.
We are all beginners.
Yeah.
I mean, beginners,
Intermediate.
intermediate.
Well,
We all have. Let me say it like this: we all have problems to equalize beyond 25, 30, 35.
yeah.
That's the door we're knocking on.
Well, most likely that's related
Which out of it?
to relaxation actually at that depth.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then there are some more advanced techniques where you can look into burp, But yeah, it's important. I can't give you a specific exercise because that wouldn't be fair. Because I need to sit down and look with the student. It's always individual.
Yes.
Yeah, always individual. But what I can say is the most common equalization mistake or difficulty that we see over and over again is that the tongue is too high in the mouth.
Yes, that we all, they all hear it. I always say
yeah.
do like this.
But why is that a
Yeah.
problem?
Tongue down
Yeah,
to have more space.
exactly.
Why,
Yeah,
why is that a problem?
because you're not creating enough space for the air. And often, if I have my tongue all the way up in what we call K-lock, then I don't have access to the air I have in front of the tongue. So I'm losing some air for my equalization. And that means that I will run out of air for equalization faster.
Yeah, that's like I explained yesterday. If this is your mouth and your tongue is here too high, you only can use this. It's hard when you are down to bring this air over the tongue. So your tongue needs to stay down, so you have more space to use with little movement.
The best advice would be, there's so much focus on learning to raise the tongue in equalization. The most important for most people is to learn to lower the tongue, actually. So that's where the focus should be, actually. Yeah. Then we have, we have this one that connects to an application where you can measure the pressure of your equalization, and we can see a lot of different things with this one also. It's a little bit pricey. I think it's around 200 euros or something like that, maybe even more now.
How does it go?
With the new now.
What's the name?
This is the Uber tool. It's an Italian product. This is the older version of it. Now it's a little more technical with some flashy lights and stuff.
What does it do?
It measures the power of your equalization
Connected with an app on
with an
your phone.
application. Yeah. So it can tell you a lot about if you lose the air, if the glottis is closed, if it's not, how much pressure am I using.
So it can see all these things?
It can, and often with beginners they use way too much pressure actually, more than they need.
They can see that when they're under the water and losing all the bubbles.
Yeah.
But that's good.
Yeah, and then this one also, this is one everyone can make also.
Here.
This is the little tool we call the bubbler, and use like this, and then we can equalize, do different exercises like this. Yeah.
And it depends also if you lower or higher this, with the pressure?
Yeah, you can.
When you put this higher or lower, it gives also different
Yeah.
pressure.
Preferred depth of the tube?
Hmm?
How many water should you fill? The column of water, how high should it be maximum? 30 centimeters?
It depends on what exercise you're doing. There's a lot of different exercises you can do, yeah.
You also, Klaus is specialized in equalization training, so if you coming back, you can take like a class with Klaus, especially on equalization for you personal, what you need or something.
Yeah, I've been learning it a lot.
Also,
Yeah, it
One of
is.
your specialties.
Yeah, I think it was because I struggled a lot with equalization in the first years.
So then you understand.
Yeah.
That's always good.
Yeah, so that's a little bit about the
And
tools
like
we have.
for me, I have a question. If me as a teacher,
Yeah.
if I need to invest in what would I invest? Should I invest in this, or in the crack pipe, or in the cube?
This is always good for attention.
No, I don't need that.
Well, if you have this one, you need to learn how to use it.
Okay.
Yeah, you need to learn how to use it.
So also take a session first with you then.
Yeah. Yeah, you need to, especially with beginners, I can see a lot of things on this. If I make them use this,
Okay.
can do some checks. If the glottis is open, stuff like this, you can see on the screen.
Yeah. Don't need to listen.
Yeah, you need to know how to use it, but it's a very good tool.
Okay.
It's a very good tool.
Worth the money,
It's,
actually.
for sure. If you're an instructor, then
Okay.
yeah, for
That's
sure.
for next time, Michel.
Yeah.
Come back. When we come back and we were looking for a present.
Yeah.